Leonidas, which is weird to say that because this character has been irrelevant for quite some time, but dealing 390% damage to the target and minor damage. Okay. All right, let's get into the 5 stars now. All right. I know, right, Thunder? All right, so dies. I'm gonna discuss the new beta. I'm gonna stream tomorrow and discuss that tomorrow, man. Deals 182% damage to all enemies. The caster and nearby allies counterattack with 85% of the damage received for 4 turns. So this is getting closer to what it is that I would like. I want to be able to deal damage and then everybody counterattacks, but it's caster and nearby allies at 85%. So it's only going to be, I do definitely like the, for 4 turns. Obacon might be relevant. The counterattacking at 85% is going to be kind of annoying. Actually, I do like Obacon. Wow, actually, Obacon is a lot better. Obacon Costume is a lot better than people think. 182% damage to all enemies is relevant. Alright, so this is target nearby enemies, and it is all enemies, and then it is all counterattacking. Obacon, the Obacon is going to be one of those characters that you are not going to be expecting to be, that needs to be dispelled, unless it's already there. So I could see Obacon definitely kind of chilling in a flanking position. Maybe I'm trying too much for Obacon, I could see that. But I do like that it's 182% damage to all enemies, and it's also counterattacking with caster and nearby allies. 85% is a decent amount of damage dealt to you. Could be relevant. I think it could be relevant. There is a chance for my buddy to make it in there. I could see it. Guys, we're really trying hard. Not to mention he is part of the rogue class, so he's gonna bounce out of the way. Yeah, I definitely like the costume version better. All right, so Marjana Costume, probably the best costume they have released and out. 358% damage to the target and minor damage to nearby enemies. The target and nearby enemies get minus 54% defense against fire for 3 turns. All ice enemies get minus 34% attack for 3 turns. So yeah. Marjana is actually really sweet, giving the minus 54% defense against fire for 3 turns, which the only other elemental defensive down character that we have is Falcon. She's running at fast damage, she's dealing damage to the target and minor damage to nearby enemies, and then all ice enemies are getting minus 34% attack for 3 turns. So Marjana Costume actually might fit in as a tank. She already had really awesome defensive stats to begin with, and now she's just a monster. When you compare her costume version, 1499, she's got less health. Join the epic battle and lead your heroes to dominate other players. Become a true dragon rider. Gain perfect balance between combo attacks and tactical sense. Find the best equipment combination and dominate in Gemstone Legends. She's got way more attack power at 753. That was her biggest issue. So if you're using Marjana, she can fit into a tank position. She already has pretty sweet defensive stats, but you could go more the defensive route, keep her alive, and then just giving that. Maybe she goes in. I do like that she gives all ice enemies the 34% attack for 3 turns. It's just all ice enemies in general. So if you're trying to bring ice against her, she could definitely make a situation bad there. Maybe I'm trying too hard, but I do know that Marjana was relevant. You compare her against her regular version, she's just infinitely better. Obviously, the regular version is 458 and then gives a burn damage of 314 over 6 turns. 318 over 6 turns is not end of the world, especially to a single target. Whereas this is setting it up so it's going to deal damage to the target nearby enemies. They're also getting minus defense down for 3 turns. I like Marjana Costume. Marjana Costume's sweet. I do like this. Obviously, against Titans, it's going to be really, really amazing. You replace Falcon and you use this version, especially being at fast speed. And you're also making it so the Titan is going to be... Titan isn't going to be impacted because you're going to be going up against green. So Titan doesn't get impacted, but the ice enemy is getting the minus attack. So yeah, she's really sweet. I do like Marjana Costume quite a bit. Kagan Costume, dealing 514 damage to the target, all allies getting plus 12 mana generation for 5 turns, and all allies getting 46% defense for 5 turns. So compared to this, getting mana generations, target nearby enemies, and target nearby enemies defense. So it's going to be all versus target. And it is a lot more damage. So Kagan Costume, I'm still not liking a slow character. I think that it would need a little bit more mana generation to be really that relevant. 12% over 5 turns is pretty easy. And actually, Kagan Costume's okay. It's not end of the world. I think there are worse characters out there. Will definitely be sweet in like the very fast wars. That's for sure. A possibility, maybe. Thorn Costume. 540 damage to the target. Caster gets plus 24 mana generation for 3 turns. Can't be dispelled. 40 target nearby enemies. I think I like the regular version. The regular version hits a lot. It's a lot of damage. Plus it's a paladin versus the sorcerer class. Mana generation is pretty sweet. But just being that it's average and it's only one enemy for 540, I'd rather do 480 and target near minor enemies. Yeah, I like the regular version better of Thorn. Alright, Big Daddy Leonidas, which is weird to say that because this character has been irrelevant for quite some time, but dealing 390% damage to the target and minor damage to nearby enemies. Target gets minus 54% defense against Holy for 4 turns. All dark enemies get minus 34% attack for 4 turns. So compared to this version, deals 365 to the target, reduces the mana by 40%, and also heals 70% of the damage dealt. Yeah, so obviously the costume version is really sweet. The good thing about the purple and the yellow, what is really awesome is that when it counterattacks, getting minus 54% against Holy, it's like the opposite thing for Marjana happens with Leonidas, because Marjana is only going to be good against Titans, but on the receiving end is going to be not that great against Titans. Where Leonidas, being that he's in yellow, his ability is so much better because not only is he giving the minus defense for Holy, but he's also making it so that when you're giving minus defense against Holy, you're probably going up against purple, and then this is setting it up so that they're actually getting the negative effect. So Leonidas is going to be really, really awesome against the Titans because it's going to give the elemental defensive down. And then it's also making it so the Titan itself is going to have the minus 34% attack for 4 turns as well too. Average speed, you're looking at average speed versus Jackal. I'm going to go Jackal. Sorry, I'm going to go Leonidas on Titans for sure. That's not a debate. So even though Jackal is really sweet. But Leonidas is awesome against Titans and could be really great on offense as well. Probably not going to make the cut on defense, but going to be pretty solid on offense. Definitely better than the regular version. Begin your fantasy journey and know all the secret paths on your way to achieve ultimate victory. Join Gemstone Legends. Know 12 regions, beat powerful monsters to bring the peace. Join the adventure in Gemstone Legend. Justice deals 240 damage to all enemies. The damage increased by 50% per each dead ally. Caster gets mana generation for 3 turns, 24%. So Justice, big draw is the fact that it's going to give the decrease for 4 turns. Keep the same amount of damage. It's going to increase per each 50 dead ally. So if Justice goes off and you've got more dead allies, that could be relevant. Could fit into the corner. So even at two dead allies, you know, Justice, you've got 2 other guys alive. It could be, you know, that's 340. And then if there are 4 dead allies and it's just Justice going off, that's disgusting. Can you imagine 440% damage? Yeah, that would stink. So Justice is one of the characters that, if you know, like, they're way different. Obviously, if you're using the regular version, you're going to want to put Justice in a tank position, where this is the opposite. This is kind of like what we wanted with Guardian Owl, but Guardian Owl being it very slow and Justice only being it slow. Having Justice go off, even the 290 to all enemies, I don't think I'm really that worried about the mana generation. Maybe it's a stretch. There's definitely some validity to using Justice. If you're going to use Justice, I would have Justice in the very left corner, and you're almost hoping that your guys die. And Justice goes off. You know what's actually really cool too? Is that you could pair Justice on offense with a hero like Mother North. And going on offense, you kind of let your other characters die. And then have Justice go off after your characters are dead and then revive everybody. That could be really cool. There's a lot of potential. I actually like this. Kind of interesting, Justice. On defense could fit the bill. On Titan's not really going to help you out. Okay. Alright, we already did Obacon. Just make sure. Making sure there's no others. Yeah, so we already did Colin. So that's all of them, guys.